Good afternoon, Neil here with the Off Late Radio Show and my series Who's Who in Santa Cruz. I'm here with the lovely Lori Butterworth, and today we're going to talk about social media with kids.
Yep. Okay. So I just want to give you, just give you a little bit of
Give me
talk.
whatever you want. Give it to me.
Yeah, talk about social media with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is destroying the brains of an entire generation. I know that sounds really extreme,
Right.
but it's not extreme, it's the truth.
You mean electronically, or are you talking about what they can look online?
What it does to the developing brain, not even just for the content, for the addiction to it. So, social media, there's a couple of elements of social media that are unhealthy for all of us. I don't know, do you use social media?
I have to.
Oh, yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how do you feel if you're not on social media for 3 or 4 days? If you go on vacation and you're not on it, you're not looking at it,
You're missing out.
you feel like you're missing out?
Uh,
How about after a while, if you were off it for a
probably, in
couple
fact,
weeks?
it's just I'd find something else to keep my mind busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might
I
do other
could do
things.
other
You might,
shit.
yeah, and do
Right.
things outside or hang
Go
out with
surfing when I don't
friends.
need a
Go
phone.
surfing.
Do stuff I don't need. Don't do stuff that I don't need to have a phone in my hand.
And there's a certain amount of pressure, like social pressure,
Mm-hmm.
on social media to behave a certain way. But when you get into
I'm sure
this,
that's right for kids. I bet that's what
yeah,
it's like for kids. For
it's
me,
like
I don't.
it's like kids are learning. Their brains are developing to socialize. Their brains are developing to separate and become independent, and all those natural things, right?
Right.
But if you're on social media and it's the likes and the trying to get attention from massive amounts of people outside of your realm of like comfort zone
Yeah.
is really scary, it's really dangerous, and it becomes addicting. The likes become addicting. Every time you get a like on there, there's a dopamine hit in your brain and it reinforces, and then you want more. Dopamine is so addicting. That's what meth does. It gives you a bunch of dopamine, and so then it gets you addicted, right? So there's this little dopamine hit, and they get more and more addicted to that, and then they can't be away from it, and it robs them of what Jonathan Haidt, who just wrote a book called The Anxious Generation, Jonathan Haidt calls the 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 um, the play-based childhood, which is what a lot of us had when we were kids, with before social media. We went out and we played,
Mm-hmm.
and now we've turned into a phone-based
Mm-hmm.
childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and that is a profound shift that we are not, and especially young people are not evolutionarily ready to deal with. And so it's not only addicting their brains to this unhealthy replenishing need to replenish of dopamine. It's comparison to others, unrealistic comparison, which is already hard in like the real world, right? This unrealistic comparison and dealing with that, that is in multitudes, and it's with people who you don't really know and who you haven't developed trust with. That is a recipe for a nightmare.
What? Oh yeah, but as a parent, I'm not the parent of a young child, but for a parent,
Mm-hmm.
how do you take that phone away for that child for a week?
I'll give you,
Hey.
I'll give you one way. The first step is take your own phone away. Like get off your own phone. I mean, you're not gonna like throw your phones away. You know that's not gonna happen, right? But send the message. If you're gonna say to a kid, the phone, you're being on your phone and being on social media is bad for your brain, and you're on social media and you're on the phone all the time,
Yeah.
they're just not gonna listen. I mean,
Right.
what's it? But model it.
Right.
Model moderation with your own phone. Set up rules and structure around phone time where everybody puts their phone in a box, like locks, even the parents locks their phone in a box after a certain amount of time at night, so that we can be together.
Yeah.
And it's moderating, being a parent and moderating their phone use. The good, and it's hard because
They're gonna get some kids that are gonna rebel hard,
yep,
right?
yep.
Hard.
I'll tell you how Jonathan Haidt suggests we do it is to have parents band together and say, in this group, we are going to agree that none of our kids will have social media until they're whatever, say 14, and won't have they're not going to have a phone until they're 14. They won't have social media until they're 16.
Okay.
So they're not the only one.
Right.
So, and that makes a huge difference because we really can't rely on social media countries like Mark Zuckerberg. I'd love to have a moment with him and just say, he doesn't care about your child's brain.
No.
I mean, really, your child's brain is his marketplace.
Right.
Right? And not just him, but all the social media countries, there's companies. There's not a lot of motivation to make it more healthy for kids. There really isn't.
No.
And government hasn't really done anything either, other than Ron DeSantis in Florida, banning social media for kids until age 14. Huge step he made. Huge step. He has young kids, and he knew. So he was the first one to do that. No one else is really going to do that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up to parents. We have to band together and support one another in really moderating phone use with kids. And schools have to get on board. Some schools have these no phone policies, but they don't enforce them.
Yeah.
So it's like it just reinforces that it's unenforceable to kids. So I think I'm on a bandwagon now.
You're on a bandwagon?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Laura's on a bandwagon.
I know. With
You rolling?
with my patients that I see in here,
Mm-hmm.
I want it to come from them, from the kids, to understand and to make a choice themselves. That's the best way to do it, is to have them choose themselves, to moderate it themselves. And then parents need to back it up, and parents need to, step in.
Okay. You are?
Lori Butterworth,
Phone number?
Center for Child and Adolescent Mental Health. If you want to talk about social media, please call me. 831-222-0052. I'll probably talk your ear off. 831-222-0052.